Alright, and we're into another cast of Diamond Cycle 10 replays. This is Losers Bracket Round 1 match between Team Kage on the Legion side and Tiang Zhang Pang on the other side, game 1 of the series. So whichever team loses here will be out in the first round, really, because they would have lost both their round of 16 matchup as well as their first Losers Bracket matchup. And if you're looking over on the Legion side, it's pretty obvious that Team Kage is not interested in doing that. Kind Man is the only player over there I don't think I really recognize that might be a Smurf, or it might be an actual player that I just don't know very well. But Panny, the HoN Jesus, aka Owned Me, Fabelli, and Bray, obviously very strongly known players, well known in the competitive scene, playing on various teams at various times, and doing quite well, having a fair degree of success. Enough certainly to get known as well-known players in the competitive scene. So I think pretty much the skill cap here, or the skill difference, is pretty favorably going towards the Legion team. And hey, look, there's a pasty pick. That's impressive. We haven't seen that because he keeps getting banned. So really, Team Kage should be in favor of this. Should be the favored team to win, of course, as Tiang Zhang Pang is sort of one of those teams that bounces back between Diamond and Gold. And if you're a team like that on the verge of Diamond and Gold, and you're going up against a team like Team Kage that has all this talent, you wouldn't expect to really take a series victory. But we'll see. Interesting things could happen. Stranger things certainly have happened. Team Kage is relatively new. They might not be that coordinated, and that could be to the favor of Tiang Zhang Pang over here on the Hellborn side. Getting into the picking stage and banning stage, because things are actually moving relatively quickly in this game, unlike many others. Keeper of the Forest, Special Tag, Master of Arms, Engineer are the bans. Keeper, Master on the Legion side, Hag, Engie on the Hellborn side. So one jungler, one solo short laner, really, one support slash mid slash solo short laner, and one support. So a fair degree of different bans coming out there. Nothing really crazy, except we don't see that pesty ban, which we've actually seen for the Legion team quite often. And that leads in the picking stage. Tempest, Rhapsody, Slither on the Legion side. Obviously it's going to be Jungle Tempest, support Rhapsody, and probably a solo short lane Slither. Maybe even a babysit if we get a solo mid here on TKAG's side. Could be either. Slith doesn't really need a babysit unless she gets put in a lane against a duel or against a particularly aggressive suicide. Even then, maybe not. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that solo Slither run. On TZP side, we see Pesty, Grinix, and Ophelia, so that's going to be a Grinix versus Slither, presumably on that bottom lane, as Grinix has almost always run suicide. Ophelia in the jungle, Pestilence probably is the mid. So TZP over here looking to pick up a support and a short laner, while TKAG is looking to pick up a mid and a suicide, and that's going to be a suicide Madman. Not really that expected. Madman's pretty different hero. We see him get played occasionally, but it's not that popular. So certainly interesting to be gonna be interesting to see how he gets played and how effective he manages to be. But we skipped right over the bubbles, or the bans, the first of which is Bubbles. Bubbles, Kraken, Luna, Rally, Cersei, Ravener. Kraken, Rally, and Ravener on TZP's side, really focusing those mid heroes. So they're clearly have identified, we've got a mid, they don't have a mid, let's ban out the mid initiators to try to make Kind Man over here make a bad decision, force him into something that he doesn't really want to play. On Team Kage side, Bubbles, Cersei, and Luna. So two supports, of course, they know they have a support, and they don't want to give the other team a support. The Bubbles' pick is a little more interesting, especially because that could be run as a mid on TKAG's side, and actually would probably work pretty well. Certainly Keltfield holding people down for the Tempest and Slither ultimates. And then, of course, Bubbles could be run as a suicide too, so he would fit the two roles that TKAG still had to fill when they went in here. So I guess they didn't want to first pick it, and they were afraid of giving it to TZP over here. In any case, both of these bans quite clearly targeted at the deficiencies of the other side, as Team TZP will pick up the Torture. That's definitely be a Tort, not definitely, probably going to be a Tort support, especially as we see a Soul Stealer Shadow picked there by PubTrain XX. So I would assume that is going to be a support Torturer. They could pick up something else. There are plenty of their supports on the board, but usually we see Torturer as a support hero nowadays. As Deadwood is actually going to be the mid hero here for TKAG. And that might lead into a Rhapsody babysit on Slither on bot. So now I expect to see the Rhapsody Slither bottom lane, Deadwood solo middle, Tempest jungle, and Fabelli on that suicide. It still could be a Deadwood Rhapsody middle. I don't feel like those heroes have too much synergy. They have a fair bit of lockdown, especially because the staccato stuns can put right into the Rotten Grasp, and then with the log, Deadwood does really strong auto attack damage, so they could get some kills there. But I would expect that Deadwood stays solo middle because he needs that experience more than anything. As Soul Stealer is in fact the final pick for TZP, and that's of course going to be their short laner. So I would expect over here to see a Soul Stealer solo short with Pesty Torturer middle, Ophelia in the jungle, and Grinix as the suicide. Of course, Pesty Torturer has plenty of kill potential with 2 AoE stuns and a fair bit of burst damage if they want that from the agonizing bonds, or sustained damage from impalement. As Torture is really one of those heroes that can put quite a lot of hurt out if he wants to. If that does go up against the Deadwood, it's basically going to be free farm for Pesty, as Deadwood won't be able to do much, if anything. And sorry, let me turn on auto-skip pause real fast. Sorry about that. And that's exactly why we do it, because, oh look, there's a Hellborn vote to pause the game, and let's not. Haha. So it looks like Deadwood's definitely heading mid, and that's pretty obvious. The question is, will Rhapsody stay here, or will Rhapsody go bottom? And I think with their Pesty Torture lane, they pretty much have to put this Rhapsody mid if they want Deadwood to get anything at all. And really, if... I don't know what the hell that is. Oh, they're just spamming his stream, I guess. And it looks like the Legion side's gonna hunt the jungle here, gonna ward it out so Ophelia isn't able to get much. I don't expect this is gonna be an aggressive jungle Tempest, because that's almost never seen, and with some bad play he could be screwed, as they double block this camp over here, making entirely sure that Oaf's not gonna find anything. Pesty's now in a bit of trouble, quite a lot of trouble actually. There's the staccato stuns, Impalement comes out, and that's gonna prevent much of anything from happening. I'm kind of surprised Empath didn't go, or Madman didn't go barrel first. And now he's in a bit of trouble. He won't die thanks to the invis, but he's going to have to run away. So a lot of regen going to need to be used here for Pesty. He might even go all the way back to base. That's actually what he's going to do, and it's probably the right decision. He's going to be extremely late to this lane, but it's definitely worth it rather than trying to eat all those trees and stay in lane against Deadwood Rhapsody, which I presume is now going to be the lane, as it looks like Rap is heading middle. So Torture is just going to sit here and get boxed out a little bit by Rhapsody, as she makes sure Torch can't leech experience with the staccato stuns and some pretty solid auto attacks, as Torture is now forced to eat a tree. Deadwood will get free farm, of course, while at least Pesty's not in this lane, and Torture is there to contest, which really isn't enough to do much. Grinix did manage to pull the lane down here, and it does dive into the tower a little bit, but he pushes it right back. So he will gain lane control, as he does a nice pull there. Slither on this bot lane actually has taken quite a lot of damage already, and needs to be extremely careful, because Slither's one of his heroes that can die to Grinix, especially if he hits 6 before she does. And even before then, if he continues to harass Slither with the Rift Stock, Slither is in danger of dying. The only thing that she can really do to prevent that is to continually apply the toxicity debuff to him, so that he is also taking a bunch of damage and doesn't feel safe to initiate. But with this lane control and the farm that he's getting off of it, it's going to be bad times here for Bray on the Slither. And he might need some support from Rhapsody or Tempest, or both, in order to make sure that this Grinix is kept down and isn't allowed to kill him, really at will. Meanwhile, up in the middle, actually, Deadwood takes the chain reactions, but no follow-up from Pestilence, as Rhapsody's going to go camp this top lane. Up in top lane, we have, of course, that Suicide Madman against Soul Stealer. This is another lane, actually, where the Suicide has some kill potential, because Soul Stealer does not have an escape mechanism, he doesn't have a slow or a stun. So Yeah, if that's good. If Fabelli just keeps putting that harass up on him with the invis, then eventually he might get a nice barrel roll and take him out. Meanwhile, Raps is going to die to the neutral creeps as it looks like Ophelia was coming in for a gank and just unable to actually get that last hit as she dies to the Ancient. So good play there from Penny on that Rhapsody. So far, there's a pretty massive golden experience lead here for the Legion team. Really a lot more than one would expect, considering we're 2.5 minutes into this game. Scotto stuns come out, Rotten Grabs miss as there's a nice dodge by Tort. That's to be expected a little bit because Pestilence was so late to this mid lane, but perhaps, hopefully not as much as it ended up being. Pesty Torture is going to need to regain control of this at some point, and they can certainly with the double stuns. They are much harder to avoid than the Rotten Grasp of Deadwood, and while Staccato stuns are nice at single target compared to the AoE of both of the stuns here on Hellborn. The chain reaction goes out in Rhapsody, followed by the Impalement, and here's going to be the Ministar stun. Rotten Grasp comes out, and that's going to hit Torturer, but not nearly enough. Torturer might pay for this. No, he won't. So Panny dies here thanks to the nice Minotaur gank from Ophelia. And that's sort of what I was talking about in terms of both regaining control and being able to take control. Both of them have strong stuns, strong initiation, and escaping from that combination is going to be very difficult, especially for this Rhapsody. As Madman's going to put some more harassment up on this Soul Stealer, but has to be careful that he doesn't lose all his mana, otherwise he won't be able to do much of anything because he'll be too scared to initiate. He does have a bottle very early, so that's a great addition for Fabelli. As the Soul Stealer is losing the experience per minute battle to Fabelli on the Madman, 366 experience per minute versus 350. And Fabelli actually has the farm game on him as well at 270 GPM versus 225. Once again, that stock coming out. Speaking of gold per minute charts, it is pretty handily in favor of the Legion team here. It's still at 350 gold per minute, Madman at 300, Deadwood at 270, and Tempest at 260. Tempest, of course, the fourth best farmer on the Legion side, is tied with Pesty, the best farmer on the Hellborn side, which is extremely sad for them considering Pesty was so late to his lane to begin with, and actually probably has the most contested farm. Well, maybe not, except for Grinix. Here, it's interesting that Soul Stealer's not out farming Pesty, and in fact not out farming Madman. It's really a big problem, in fact, and they need to address this situation, I think, before too late, or too long, before it's too late, really. On bottom, it looks like Tempest is here to push in a little bit. He is only level 5, so he only has level 3 elementals. And I don't think they'll be able to take this tower quite yet, but they can certainly put some damage in, and then Tempest can come back in a level or two and try to take it out. As up top, Stock comes in, and Soul Stealer's diving on, or Madman's diving on the Soul Stealer. Meanwhile, Ophelia and Torture and his illusions are coming in bottom. Going to try to pick off this Tempest. They do see him. There's a Skeleton King net on top of the chain reactions, and there's a spray onto Ophelia. She's going to be okay, I think, actually. As he gets denied, in fact. Torturers and Pam are going to come out and prevent damage on the Slither, but she's going to hit, yes, get a double tap here on top of both Grinix and Torturer. Skeleton King's going to not allow her to die. And the top, actually, Fabelli picked up a kill onto Ganal on TZP as he just came in and dove in. So, one of the benefits of replay casting, of course, we get to see action all over the map. And that's just going to expand the golden experience lead to 2.5k in both areas for the Legion side. Not a great start here for Hellborn, and they're going to need to switch something up, I think, if they want to really stay in this game. Grinix is going to have to get a little more active, start ganking. So will Ophelia, as the Impalement stuns, followed by the chain reactions, comes out in the middle, but Madman's right here. He's going to take out this Torture. Grinix is here as well, but he's going to push something right into Rotten Grasp as an Impalement comes out and he runs away. Grinix ultimate comes out, trying to take out Madman, not going to be enough. Stock comes out, and does he have enough for a battle roll? No, he does not. There's a power supply, now he's got enough for a battle roll. Grinix is going to get Staccato stunned, but he'll be fine. Rhapsody's in a bit of trouble. She's going to run away, pops the health potion, but it's not nearly enough, and now she's going to be dead, despite the dance floor getting put down. Just too much damage coming out from Ophelia and that Skeleton King. So another good fight here for the Legion side, as they take out both Pestilence and Torture, and in turn exchange only Rhapsody. Bot tower falls thanks to that Tempest coming back, with a little damage they put on initially, and finishing off the tower. He is now level 7, so they might look to continue this push, as he has level 4 elementals, and he can really do quite a lot. As the Glyph comes out, and they're interested in defending this, Grynyx is coming here as well as Torture. So I would not imagine this push is going to continue freely for the Legion side much longer. As Tempest and Solar both look to back up a little bit, but they're clearly not done here as the Elementals come out once again. Grynyx ult comes out, and they're going to try to pull a kill on this Tempest. Action is happening middle lane, so let's rewind a bit and see what happened there. As Pestilence is going to get picked up with the staccato stuns. And up top, Madman takes out this Ophelia and is now going to kill Soulstealer if he can get an angle. There it is, and there's the Rift. The Stalk, excuse me. So we've got Rift, we got Stalk, and we have Rift Stalk, so that's going to be confusing. God damn, these heroes can't just get some different ability names. As the Ultimate and the Glacial Blast come out for Grynyx, and now he's going to be dead, as both the Slither Spray and the Toxicity debuff come out on top of him. Bot tower, so we see, and poured in, but now we have Staccato Stuns thanks to Rhapsody. Poison Burst coming out, and now that's going to be a completely dead Pestilence. The Impalement comes out, but still going to tick down to the Toxicity buff. Meanwhile, in mid, Fabelli picks off Torture once again. And yeah, it's pretty much a massacre at this point. 11-3 hero kill lead, 7k gold and 7k experience. As the bot secondary tower is going to get pushed in and die. Soulstealer's here, but now there's the tree on top of the Rotten Grasp, and he's dead. So I'm not sure exactly what his plan was, but it wasn't a good one. And it looks like they might just continue this push. The Dance Floor goes out, and man, would you look at that heal. Well, he's got a regen rune, too. That's a little unfair. So, Dance Floor's good. It's maybe not that good as the Grasp catches Rhynics along with Staccato Stuns. He's going to Shadow Step in and try to get something on Tempest, but the Rhapsody Ultimate comes out, preventing damage on Torture. Gets stopped by the Impalement Stun, and Tempest goes down. But there goes Rhynics and Torture as well as Pestilence. Not Torture. I was going to say Pestilence, but Pestilence didn't die till later. Anyway, I thought they got 3 kills there. Willowmaker comes out onto Soulstealer, and there goes Radman with a barrel, but he's dead. That's top of the Rotten Grasp. Ophelia's going to pour it in to finally try to defend this bot tower push, as they've taken half of the bot tower. Ted was interested in manning up on this Torture, but that could be a problem. Not nearly enough of a problem, though, as he just uses those Gorge Marchers to run away. Grynyx is chasing with a Rift Stalk, but he's just going to go for a Rhapsody here because he doesn't have the ability to chase down Deadwood. Nope. Rhapsody's in some trouble, but she's going to get some support here from Madman, as she has nothing. No. But Madman's got a barrel roll. There goes the Dust Revelation so they can see him. But Ophelia's still in some trouble as the Madman Ultimate comes out. Bottle Charge is working out. Newer's busting up. And Rhapsody, not sure what you're doing here, buddy. There's a Dance Floor, but probably not going to be too helpful, as she's now in a fair bit of trouble. She actually picked a really nice hiding spot here. Madman's going to run away with the bugs on him, but are they going to see? Yep, they're going to see Rhapsody. So good guess. So Madman has the bugs on him, but is able to run away because that Stalk gives him plenty of extra move speed.
The Legion have destroyed
Mid tower is going down thanks to Tempest and Slither. These Tempest Elementals just do so much. Deadwood hiding off to the side, still doesn't have a portal key, but has clear cutting, so he's going to move in here and actually find Pestilence. But first Soulstealer, and that's going to be chain reactions on top of Deadwood. He's not going to be able to get the Willowmaker off onto Soulstealer, and that's going to be his death. Poison Burst comes out, hits 3. Actually 4. Pestilence is now going to be dead. He tries to get denied by Ophelia, but it's not going to be in time. So trade 1 for 1. Really aggressive play there from Deadwood. Certainly not necessary, but I think they know how far up they are, and they can sort of afford to do that sort of thing because this game is, I think, more or less in the bag. As long as they don't throw absolutely, they should be able to win pretty easily. As he actually bought out, and there goes the Rift Duck on to Grynyx, so he's going to be able to run away. So he jumps onto Tempest. He turns the Elementals. Glacial Blast comes out, and he's going to get stunned actually a couple of times. Poison Spray comes out into Soulstealer. On top of the Rotten Grasp, so He's going to take a fair bit of damage here. Not nearly enough to get killed, but enough to make him back up and think twice about initiating. Bugs come out in a bad minute, so he'll be visible even if he stalks. I want to call it the Rift. Is that damn Rift stock? Deadwood's still looking for a punch here. Drops the Rotten Grasp in the middle of the trees, but nobody's there. Pestilence has the flight activated to try to avoid any initiation. As we're just gearing up for a big old fight here in middle. Tempest Elementals come out. They're going to work on these Hellborn creeps and eventually the tower, but they're actually taken down first by Demon Hands from Soul Stealer. Dance Floor goes down. Not nearly enough. Poison Spray actually going to hit Grinix there. As the mid tower is now taking considerable fire with 4 heroes from the Hellborn team walking. Finally, Willowmaker comes out from Deadwood on top of the Slither attacks, and that's Toxicity eventually is going to get him killed. Torture is now in a ton of trouble with the Rotten Grasp coming out in the background actually to catch Soul Stealer and Pestilence. And there's a Tempest Element actually hitting 3, so nice sign up there as Rhapsody Ultimate comes out for some reason before the Tempest Ultimate comes out, but in the meantime, Toxicity debuff isn't going to be enough to kill Ophelia, and Pestilence is going to get caught by the around. He's dead. Riftstock actually comes in with a barrel roll and picks off both, so that's a genocide. As the Legion side picks off the first tower, and are they going to kill the second tower? We'll see. Grinix is back alive, but won't be able to do much. His ultimate comes out, and that's going to scare them off, but not going to get any kills. As Solar just walks right back in and says, "Come on, jump on me." So 22-6 hero kill lead here, 16k gold, 12k, 13k experientially, 17k gold for the Legion side, and not even 14 minutes in, they've built themselves a somewhat insurmountable lead. You know, no game is throwable. As up top, Solar has found Soul Steal, put the Dust of Revelation on, and that's probably going to be his death. Superstar. Yes, Port comes in for Torture, probably trying to deny and or assist, but not nearly in time with that new timer on the teleports, of course. It's hard to do. Rhapsody finds Torture over here, puts the Scottison's down, but now she's in some trouble as the Impalement has come out. Tempest is running in, chops down the trees, and this is going to be a dead Torture as the Poison Spray comes out on top of the Deadwood hit and the Glacial Blasts. So Torture comes in trying to help his teammate and ends up paying for it, paying for his magnanimity, something like that? I don't know. As Grinix Ultimate comes out once again, trying to scare Madman off, but really it's so Grinix can run away. Top tower goes down, unsurprisingly, and this top secondary tower is now going to get pushed, the only outer tower remaining. I think it's worth pointing out, the push here on Legion is reasonable, but it's not even that strong. They only have 2 substantial push heroes at this point in the game. Solar gets better once she gets more wards up, but even then she's a better anti-pusher than she is a straight pusher. And Tempest and Rhapsody actually combine that well as Energizer comes out and the Glacial Blast is on top of Grinix, and now he's in trouble because there's the Poison Burst, so he's going to die to the Poison. Poison Burst actually hit 2 others in Pestilence and Ophelia, and now Pesty's dead. Because even though the ultimate came out, there's going to be a few auto attacks there. That's going to be near plenty of damage. Meteor comes down, and now Ophelia's dead as well. Torture is in a ton of trouble with Rotten Grasp coming out, and there's a barrel roll to kill him. Actually, Rhapsody got him with Staccato Stones, I believe. So, Genocide coming out once again for the Legion side, and they're going to take top tower. As I was saying, you know, they're doing really well pushing because their grouping is 5, not necessarily because this is a strong push team. Tempest and Rhapsody don't combine nearly as well as like Keeper and Rhapsody, or even Tempest and Keeper for that matter. Just because Tempest Elementals are kind of slow and they don't really take that much damage. They're not tanks, they're more damage dealers, so they don't need to heal as much. Of course, it still does combo fairly well as the Scottisons come out in Soul Stealer. And the Hellborn team's interested in fighting this off, but they're not going to be able to do much. Shadow Step comes from Grinix. I don't think I'd even stunned anybody. And I believe only one has been used on the Hellborn side. Impalement Stun hits 2 on the Legion side, but that Poison Spray hits 3. Great Rhapsody Ultimate saving 2 here as Torture and Pestilence both die. Grinix is trapped by the Shadow Stuns. He's going to come in with the Riftstock and the Shadow Step, but Solar doesn't care. He's way too tanky for that. Rhapsody's running the Hellborn team actually, as finally Solar's going to go down and Fabelli's going to die. But Rotten Grasp is going to hit Ophelia, and she's dead thanks to the Staccato Stuns and the Toxicity as Solar actually gets a kill from beyond the grave. Deadwood's running away with no health, so Stealer is going to put the ultimate down to try to kill Rhapsody, and this Dance Floor might actually save Yes, this might actually be a kill. There's the Rapid Grasp, and man, that's a nice man up there from Panny. That dance lord has so much heal, and it's really frustrating when you're against it because you keep thinking, I'm about to get the kill, and the heal just brings the opponent right back. So there's a CC vote from Legion, of course, because clearly that's what makes sense. I think at this point they're pretty much just rubbing it in the faces of Tang Zhang Pang here. They're using a bunch of buyouts to come right back in and push this top tower. Riftstock and the Shadow Step come out onto Tempest, but he doesn't care. Drops the Glacial Blasts, runs away, Chain Reactions, hits Madman, but he's already invisible. Pestilence in a bit of trouble here as a Toxicity and an Energizer, so they are on him. Bugs are on Madman, so he can't go invisible anymore. And Shadow Step comes on Tempest once again. He actually does have an ultimate. He's looking for it, but he will die before it goes off. Slither Spray hits 2, and Pestilence is now in dead. Rotten Grasp hits 2 others with Phoenix and Torture are both going down. There's a Codex on Madman. Willowmaker on the Soul Stealer. He's dead. And we're looking for some well diving here from Slither, as he's going to take a bunch of damage, but not being able to chase this Ophelia down. And then they need to just finish the top racks. As we're looking at 23k experience, 27k gold lead here for the Legion side, and TKAG is just absolutely manhandling their opponents. This is probably a little more extreme than what I expected, but I certainly figured they'd win this game and somewhat handily, considering the skill difference. As Pesty says, yes, we've got late game. So, 4 heroes up here on the Elite Hellborn side. The Grenix ultimate coming out. Nice Rhapsody, saving all the damage from Slither as Torture is going to go die thanks to the Madman Codex. And he's chasing Ophelia and Pestilence. Grenix is there. He does not have a Riftstock quite yet. I believe Scotto Stun's going to kill. Poison Burst onto just Ophelia there. She's going to die thanks to Toxicity buff. They actually pick off Slither here, but barrel roll onto Pestilence. And both Pesty and Madman are trying to get out of each other's way, and they finally get the kill onto Pestilence. Madman and Deadwood are trying to get on each other's way, as Madman can just sit here and take a bunch of damage from Soul Stealer. So I don't know what Madman's plan here is, but there's a Storm Spirit on top of Torture followed by the Rotten Grasp, but now he's in a ton of trouble. Chain Reactions hits nobody. Barrel roll comes out as Madman stealing Deadwood's kills. Staccato stuns onto Soul Reaper, as Rhapsody just runs away with the Dance Floor, and it's going to heal up quite a bit. Meanwhile, bottom tower is going to get taken down by Tempest. Ray has used his final buyback, and they're both sitting here baiting pretty clearly, but Soul Stealer actually managed to get the Demon Hand, and there goes the tower killing Deadwood, so those two are going to use their final buybacks as a Glacial Blast and a Meteor come down onto Ophelia, and that's going to be a dead oath, I believe, if she... Yep, there it is. So Tempest might actually pay for this, as he's got bugs on him, and now he's dead. Meanwhile, over here, Soul Stealer actually picks off Rhapsody, but Madman will kill Grenix. Madman, of course, taking chain reactions there, preventing him from chasing him down, but there's the log, and then Soul Stealer's dead. He's going to put the Soul Burst off, but actually the Ward, I think, gets the final kill. Bugs onto Madman, so they're visible. He's visible now. And there goes the Impalement, which is actually going to be disjointed thanks to the barrel roll. Rotten Grasp hits 2 over here in Pesty and Torture, and there is a Willowmaker available, but he dodges the chain reaction stun instead. Glacial Blast onto Tempest, and that's going to hit a bunch of times, as there's the Tempest ultimate immediately stopped by the chain reactions. Double Rotten Grasp hits 2, there's Soul Stealer going down on top of Ophelia, who eats the Willowmaker. Grenix ultimate coming out, and actually Tempest and Deadwood's in some trouble. A Shadow Step comes out on him, and he's not going to die thanks to some nice barrel roll play, and a Storm Spirit, most excellent, from Deadwood. Up here, meanwhile, Tempest finally dies. So I don't know what took him so long, but it did take a while. And these bot racks might actually die. Tempest is out of buybacks, and there's Madman, who's going to die here to the Impalement. He is also out of buybacks, as everybody on this Legion side is out of buybacks, except for Rhapsody. Lockdown here onto Slither with chain reactions and Impalement stuff. First, Torture's going to die, and then the Energizer gets popped, and there goes Slither. He's going to go to try to reinitiate and kill Pestilence, but Torture buys out. There goes Pestilence. Rhapsody's Staccato stuns come in, and Torture is now dead. Ophelia comes back in with bugs onto Rhapsody, and they're going to try to do something here as Pestilence is now out of uses buyback. Bot racks finally go down, Soul Stealer's over here trying to do something, but Staccato Stuns keep interrupting him as the push book actually does not stop the impalement, and Rhapsody takes a Storm Spirit, which can save her temporarily, but not forever. Rotten Grasp hits nobody. The Hellborn team is now retreating to their well, having gotten poison put on them pretty consistently. Soul Stealer going to throw out some Demon Hands, but he's a Toxicity. And he's doing a fair bit of damage. And there's a Rotten Grasp onto him. He's not going to take enough damage, so Shadow Step onto Soul Stealer, actually. She's not going to die, though, but there's a Willowmaker and a Poison Burst, and now there's a Deny on Grenix, so well played there. Words come out once again as Pesty is looking to chase down the Slither. There's Glacial Blast, though that's going to prevent him from doing much. Impalement Sun's actually going to miss everybody, and Slither will just run around and sort of laugh at everybody as Pestilence goes down thanks to the Meteor and a final auto attack from Tempest. So they've got 52 hero kills here on the Legion side. There's a Codex on a Torturer. Oh, Madman. What level is that Codex? Level 4, of course, as they're now going to counter ward just because why not? No, now Torture's mad. All of his beautiful warding. All of his beautiful warding has now come to naught with the counter ward. Nice barrel roll there, hitting Grenix, who has taken his ultimate out, but there's a Poison Spray. Rotten Grasp from the Tempest, and that's going to matter too much. Energizer gets everybody out of there before Soul Stealer can do a lot. Poison Burst, and there's Toxicity and a Codex on top of Ophelia, and she dies. Staccato Stuns onto Soul Stealer. He's just trying to live in the well, and Tempest is going to dive and pay for it with his life, but Soul Stealer does go down. Madman just barely gets out of there. Poison Spray hits, just Torture, and Soul Stealer actually buys back. Impalement Sun on Rhapsody, and she's going to take some Demon Hand and a Chain Reaction, but not nearly enough to take her out. Barrel Roll hits Torture, but it's not going to kill her. Dance Floor goes down, and that's going to heal up both Rhapsody and Madman a little bit. Another Codex onto Pestilence, and he's dead.
Someone likes to get
More well diving, especially, well, Chain Reaction stopped the Rhapsody ultimate and ended up in Soldier's deaths, as now both Madman and Rhapsody are on the run. Impalement's going out and doing a whole bunch. Grenix ult on top of the Madman Barrel Roll, and that's chasing both of them down. Rift Stock comes in. They're going to try to look for a Shadow Step here on Rhapsody, I guess, because Madman's got way too much mana, and he's just not going to get caught. Dance Floor goes down, but Grenix is there. And there's Staccato Stuns, and they're actually going to kill him with a Codex. Chain Reaction Stuns from Torturer, but now he's going to die to the Dance Floor. As Fabelli picks up a double tap, picks up a Dance Floor. So Fabelli's 23 and 15, Bray's 21-3 and 24. Everybody on this Legion side is over 300 GPM. Everybody except for Rhapsody is over 400, now over 450. And nobody on the Hellborn's over 250. I'm surprised Soul Stealer is at 250, almost. That's reasonably impressive, considering I don't think he's left like 1,000 units outside of his well in the last 10 minutes. Maybe not 10 minutes, in the last 5 minutes at least. Another Codex on the Pestilence, and he's dead. Barrel Roll and Ultimate from Madman will kill Ophelia. Now Soul Stealer for some reason is leaving again as the pushbook comes in on top of Willowmaker, and he's dead. Shadow Step onto Madman, but that's not nearly enough. First off, that lets him get away a little bit with the increased move speed. Dawnbringer on Slither, and there's a Bound Eye on Torture, getting control back as the Rotten Grasp hits both of them. Shadow Step comes out actually, puts him in the chain reactions, and now Deadwood's not going to die. Torture falls instead. Deadwood's running away into the trees, is going to throw a log, and that's going to get a kill on Grenix. That's got to be frustrating. Oh, look, there's a glyph. The HoN Jesus doesn't die. He does, but he resurrects. That's more appropriate. Rotten Grasp coming out on Ophelia, and she's just gonna die. Oh my god. And they're now diving the well. They can't do much. They can't even stay alive in the well. So, good Rhapsody ult there, saving everybody from something. Really just dominance from TKAG there. They won their lanes. They really won the draft, I think, too. Well, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure they won the draft, but they definitely won their lanes, and they won the group up and push situation. So really nothing much else to say besides excellent performance there from TKAG.